Welcome, traveler, to a place where time itself seems to hold its breath, a tiny, secluded enclave of pale stone and deep spirit, resting quietly within the embrace of an ancient, sprawling city. Tonight, we wander through the silent, shadowed courtyards of the Vatican, not as hurried visitors under the harsh, demanding light of day, but as silent observers, drifting softly through the tranquil, velvet twilight. The air here is heavy with history, yet remarkably peaceful, fragrant with the faint, lingering scent of old marble, aged parchment, and the cool, damp earth that has witnessed centuries of softly spoken words. As the golden sun dips below the horizon, casting long, soft shadows across the smooth cobblestones, we find ourselves stepping gently across an invisible border, leaving the endless noise of the world far behind us, entering a sanctuary designed for quiet contemplation and deep, restful stillness. Long ago, before the grand, sweeping domes pierced the evening sky, this sacred land was simply a quiet, solitary hill resting just across the winding, gentle curves of the River Tiber, a place the ancient Romans called the Age of Vaticanus. It was a peaceful, untouched expanse, where wild vines tangled lazily over the gentle slopes, and the evening wind whispered through the tall, swaying pines, carrying the cool moisture of the river across the soft earth. You can almost hear the rhythmic, soothing rustle of those ancient leaves even now, as if the memory of that quiet landscape still echoes faintly beneath the heavy, hand-carved paving stones, a gentle, grounding reminder of the deep, slumbering earth that rests silently beneath our feet, older than any empire, softer than any monument. As the early centuries slowly turned, falling away like the delicate, worn pages of a forgotten manuscript, the nature of this quiet hill began to gently shift. Imagine the muted, echoing sounds of the first century, the soft footfalls in the dry dust, the quiet, stretching shadows moving across a Roman necropolis, a tranquil, silent city of the dead, resting peacefully beneath the vast, starry expanse of the night sky. It is here, in the cool, silent depths of this ancient soil, that the true story of this sovereign sanctuary begins its slow unfolding, not with loud, grand declarations or the marching of soldiers, but with a humble, quiet resting place, a simple grave marked by a plain red stone, quietly drawing the weary and the faithful away from the bustling heart of Rome. From that quiet, solitary point in the dark earth, a gentle, invisible ripple began to spread slowly through the vast tapestry of time. The mighty emperor of the realm, drawn by the profound weight of reverence, ordered the very earth to be carefully, methodically moved, gently leveling the sacred, sloping hill to build a massive, protective sanctuary over the slumbering saints. Picture the slow, deliberate movements of ancient artisans in the cool dusk, their heavy wooden torches casting warm, flickering pools of golden light against the cool, rough-hewn stone, as they laid the deep, heavy foundations of the very first basilica, a monument born entirely from quiet devotion, rising slowly and patiently from the quiet, ancient dust. Every single stone here holds a silent memory, absorbing the gentle warmth of countless setting suns and the quiet, soothing chill of endless, peaceful nights. As we drift further into the heart of this ancient, walled enclave, the sheer weight of time begins to feel like a soft, comforting blanket, wrapping gently around us, shielding our minds from the chaos and noise of the modern era. The mighty, roaring empire that once surrounded this quiet hill has slowly, quietly faded into whispers and beautiful, crumbling ruins. But this tiny, sacred space has miraculously remained, a quiet, unwavering anchor in the ever-shifting, unpredictable ocean of history, standing perfectly still as the rest of the world turns endlessly on its axis. Close your tired eyes, and simply let the gentle, slow rhythm of the passing centuries wash over you, Listen to the soft, distant, echoing chime of a solitary bronze bell, its deep resonance melting slowly into the thick, velvet darkness of the night. Feel the cool, gentle night breeze sweeping slowly across the vast, empty squares, carrying with it the hushed, forgotten secrets of old emperors, dreaming artists, and silent, wandering souls. We are just at the very beginning of our slow, peaceful journey through this mesmerizing, ancient realm, gently tracing the invisible, delicate threads of its long creation, letting the tranquil, protective spirit of the past guide our minds into a deep, restorative, and beautiful slumber. Welcome, traveler, to a place where time itself seems to hold its breath, a tiny, secluded enclave of pale stone and deep spirit, resting quietly within the embrace of an ancient, sprawling city. Tonight, we wander through the silent, shadowed courtyards of the Vatican, not as hurried visitors under the harsh, demanding light of day, but as silent observers, drifting softly through the tranquil, velvet twilight. The air here is heavy with history, yet remarkably peaceful, fragrant with the faint, lingering scent of old marble, aged parchment, and the cool, damp earth that has witnessed centuries of softly spoken words. As the golden sun dips below the horizon, casting long, soft shadows across the smooth cobblestones, we find ourselves stepping gently across an invisible border, leaving the endless noise of the world far behind us, entering a sanctuary designed for quiet contemplation and deep, restful stillness. Long ago, before the grand, sweeping domes pierced the evening sky, this sacred land was simply a quiet, solitary hill resting just across the winding, gentle curves of the river Tiber, a place the ancient Romans called the Age of Vaticanus. It was a peaceful, untouched expanse, where wild vines tangled lazily over the gentle slopes, and the evening wind whispered through the tall, swaying pines, carrying the cool moisture of the river across the soft earth. You can almost hear the rhythmic, soothing rustle of those ancient leaves even now, as if the memory of that quiet landscape still echoes faintly beneath the heavy, hand-carved paving stones, a gentle, grounding reminder of the deep, slumbering earth that rests silently beneath our feet, older than any empire, softer than any monument. As the early centuries slowly turned, falling away like the delicate, worn pages of a forgotten manuscript, the nature of this quiet hill began to gently shift. Imagine the muted, echoing sounds of the first century, the soft footfalls in the dried dust, the quiet, stretching shadows moving across a Roman necropolis, a tranquil, silent city of the dead, resting peacefully beneath the vast, starry expanse of the night sky. It is here, in the cool, silent depths of this ancient soil, that the true story of this sovereign sanctuary begins its slow unfolding, not with loud, grand declarations or the marching of soldiers, but with a humble, quiet resting place, a simple grave marked by a plain red stone, quietly drawing the weary and the faithful away from the bustling heart of Rome. From that quiet, solitary point in the dark earth, a gentle, invisible ripple began to spread slowly through the vast tapestry of time. The mighty emperor of the realm, drawn by the profound weight of reverence, ordered the very earth to be carefully, methodically moved, gently leveling the sacred, sloping hill to build a massive, protective sanctuary over the slumbering saints. Picture the slow, deliberate movements of ancient artisans in the cool dusk, their heavy wooden torches casting warm, flickering pools of golden light against the cool, rough-hewn stone, as they laid the deep, heavy foundations of the very first basilica, a monument born entirely from quiet devotion, rising slowly and patiently from the quiet, ancient dust. Every single stone here holds a silent memory, absorbing the gentle warmth of countless setting suns and the quiet, soothing chill of endless, peaceful nights. As we drift further into the heart of this ancient, walled enclave, the sheer weight of time begins to feel like a soft, comforting blanket, wrapping gently around us, shielding our minds from the chaos and noise of the modern era. The mighty, roaring empire that once surrounded this quiet hill has slowly, quietly faded into whispers and beautiful, crumbling ruins. But this tiny, sacred space has miraculously remained, a quiet, unwavering anchor in the ever-shifting, unpredictable ocean of history, standing perfectly still as the rest of the world turns endlessly on its axis. Close your tired eyes and simply let the gentle, slow rhythm of the passing centuries wash over you. Listen to the soft, distant, echoing chime of a solitary bronze bell, its deep resonance melting slowly into the thick, velvet darkness of the night. Feel the cool, gentle night breeze sweeping slowly across the vast, empty squares, carrying with it the hushed, forgotten secrets of old emperors, dreaming artists, and silent, wandering souls. We are just at the very beginning of our slow, peaceful journey through this mesmerizing, ancient realm, gently tracing the invisible, delicate threads of its long creation, letting the tranquil, protective spirit of the past guide our minds into a deep, restorative, and beautiful slumber. As we gently, softly leave the whispering foliage of the secret gardens far behind us, we slip silently into the labyrinthine, softly lit corridors that vein the deep heart of this ancient, sleeping city. Away from the grand, echoing halls known to the rushing, daytime world, there is a completely hidden, beautifully intricate network of quiet passageways, smoothed perfectly by the slow, deliberate passage of countless soft-soled shoes over hundreds of quiet, unfolding years. Here, the true, deeply peaceful life of the enclave breathes in a slow, comforting, and highly rhythmic cadence. You might just barely hear the distant, muffled sound of a thick oak door clicking softly and securely shut, or the faint, melodious chime of an antique clock marking the deep, late hour in a secluded, forgotten courtyard. The people who reside within these thick, protective walls live a life beautifully untethered from the frantic, demanding pace of the modern era waiting just outside. Their days are measured entirely not by rushing traffic or urgent deadlines, but by the gentle, beautiful chiming bells calling them slowly to quiet reflection, creating a deeply rooted, unshakable sense of order and profound tranquility that seeps slowly, inevitably into the very ancient stones surrounding them. In the quietest, deepest, and most comforting shadows of the heavy arched doorways, you will find the silent, unwavering sentinels of this peaceful, miniature realm. The guards, famous for their vibrant daytime attire, stand now in the cool, softening gloom, their steady presence a quiet, deeply comforting anchor in the slowly shifting tapestry of the night. Stripped of the bright, demanding glare of the sun, they beautifully become living, breathing statues of pure devotion, holding their long, heavy halberds with a practiced, relaxed, and deeply grounded stillness. Listen closely to the subtle, almost imperceptible sound of their deep, even breathing, the soft, rich rustle of heavy wool fabric as a tired weight is gently, imperceptibly shifted from one resting foot to another. They are the quiet, eternal watchers, the steadfast guardians of the long, uninterrupted sleep of deep history, standing a lonely, beautiful vigil over a fragile realm that simply holds its quiet breath until the gentle arrival of the morning sun. Their silent, enduring dedication creates a profound, invisible shield of safety, wrapping warmly around the ancient, slumbering buildings and wrapping softly around your own quiet, resting mind. Deep beneath our softly treading feet, slowly descending into the cool, perfectly climate-controlled, and utterly silent heart of the earth itself, lies one of the most quiet, carefully guarded spaces in the entire world, the vast, endless labyrinth of the apostolic archives. Breathe in deeply, pulling the unique, deeply comforting scent that lives only here down into your resting lungs. A dry, incredibly rich perfume of cracked, aged leather bindings, the faint, sweet dust of deteriorating, centuries-old parchment, and the lingering, ghostly whisper of dried iron gall ink slowly fading into the heavy paper. Imagine walking slowly, perfectly unhurried, down miles of silent, dimly lit, heavy iron shelving, where the private, handwritten thoughts of ancient kings and quiet scholars rest in absolute, completely undisturbed peace. In this subterranean, echoing sanctuary, time simply does not move forward. It is beautifully preserved in amber, resting quietly and eternally on the bowing wooden shelves. Perhaps, in a far, isolated corner, a solitary archivist sits under the warm, comforting amber glow of a single brass reading lamp, turning a delicate, ancient page with deeply reverent care, a slow, meticulous movement that perfectly mirrors the slowing rhythm of your own sinking heartbeat. Tucked safely away in the quietest, most private corners of the inner cobblestone courtyards, there are small, hidden rooms where the delicate, painstaking art of historical preservation happens in a hushed, almost meditative silence. In the ancient mosaic studios, highly skilled artisans work carefully with tiny, intricate, colored pieces of glass and ancient stone, perfectly matching faded hues that were first mixed under the warm sun of the 16th century. Imagine the incredibly slow, deeply patient, and satisfyingly quiet click of a single, minuscule tile being set gently into damp, waiting plaster, a sound so incredibly delicate it barely registers in the heavy quiet of the shadowed room. Or picture a focused painting restorer, standing completely still before a vast, darkened canvas, using a soft, fine-haired brush to slowly, incredibly slowly, lift away the microscopic, dusty layers of ancient soot and forgotten time. It is a profound, deeply moving labor of absolute love and immense patience, an acknowledgement that beautiful things take immense amounts of time to create, and even more time to gently heal and quietly preserve, a deeply comforting thought to hold on to as your own heavy body sets about its quiet, nocturnal work of deep healing. The quiet, entirely hidden culture of this secluded nation is a beautiful, ongoing testament to the restorative power of deep patience, of slow, thoughtful care, and of deep, unwavering stillness. It is a place that firmly, yet gently, refuses to ever be hurried, a sacred sanctuary that quietly insists on the absolute, vital importance of taking a long breath, of stepping far back, and of letting the chaotic rush of the outside world simply wash softly away against its ancient, towering stone walls. As you lie there, feeling completely safe and wonderfully warm, allow the slow, beautifully measured rhythm of this hidden, nocturnal life to sync perfectly with the gentle, rhythmic rise and fall of your own resting chest. Feel the heavy, beautiful silence of the empty corridors, the unwavering dedication of the peaceful nighttime watches, and the profound, deeply resting peace of the ancient, subterranean archives sinking slowly into your tired muscles. The world here is completely safe. The world here is beautifully quiet, and it is inviting you, with a soft, gentle whisper, to finally surrender to the deep, heavy, and beautiful comfort of a truly restful, uninterrupted sleep. As we drift further into the carefully guarded, deeply sleeping mysteries of this tiny, sovereign sanctuary, let us turn our slowly resting minds to the hidden, almost forgotten pathways that lie perfectly concealed behind the heavy, ancient stone walls. Deep within the quietest, most heavily shadowed corners of the sweeping gardens, there is a pair of intricately forged iron gates that open to reveal the shortest national railway in the entire world, a miniature, incredibly silent track consisting of merely two perfectly straight, parallel lines of cold steel, resting quietly under the dark shadows of the tall, sweeping Mediterranean pines. For many long, unbroken decades, this tiny, solitary track was barely a whisper against the deafening scale of global transport. Imagine the soft, incredibly slow, and highly rhythmic chug of a single engine gently pulling into the elegant stone station, a sound so remarkably subdued that it barely rustles the heavy, sleeping leaves of the nearby ancient olive trees. It remains a beautifully moving monument to a world that stubbornly refuses to ever rush, where the loud, disruptive arrival of iron and steam was historically hushed by the profound, demanding silence of the sleeping enclave. High above the empty, heavily shadowed streets that wind carefully around the protective, towering borders of the city, there is a completely hidden, elevated corridor that has carried the soft, deeply urgent footsteps of ancient history, a secret, narrow bridge suspended beautifully between the sleeping earth and the endless, dark velvet sky, known quietly to those who whisper its true name as the Passetto. This ancient, heavily fortified passage, stretching silently towards the massive, imposing stone cylinder of a nearby fortress, was meticulously constructed to offer a safe, unseen retreat in times of great, overwhelming peril. Picture the faint, flickering, deeply comforting light of a single, handheld wax candle moving swiftly, yet entirely silently, behind the narrow, protective slit windows centuries ago, guiding a solitary, heavily cloaked figure through the suffocating, protective darkness. Today, this long, empty, and perfectly silent corridor rests entirely still, its heavy, worn stones having absorbed the desperate racing heartbeats of the distant past, now offering only a deep, profound sense of unwavering safety and absolute, silent protection against the fading, harmless echoes of human history. Long before the frantic modern world turned its brightly lit eyes toward the endless, slowly turning cosmos, the quiet, highly observant minds residing safely within these ancient walls were already looking patiently upward, searching for a gentle, mathematical order in the dark, velvety blackness of the night. High up in a hidden, beautifully adorned structure known perfectly as the Tower of the Winds, brilliant, solitary scholars spent countless, peaceful, and uninterrupted nights mapping the incredibly slow, majestic dance of the distant constellations. It was deep within these very quiet, softly lit, and heavily shadowed rooms, surrounded by ancient brass astrolabes and meticulously hand-drawn celestial charts, that the calendar we use today to measure our own passing lives was first carefully, beautifully conceived. It stands as a profound, remarkably quiet realization of exactly how the earth moves gracefully around the warm sun, captured forever by quiet minds who simply possess the deep, unending patience to sit entirely still in the cool dark, watching the slow, perfectly predictable turning of the vast universe resting above them, while the loud, constantly shifting world outside endlessly invents new, hurried words and frantic expressions. This secluded, completely peaceful enclave gently cradles a language that most of the earth has long since laid carefully to rest. Here, in the quietest, deepest shadows, the ancient, slowly flowing syllables of classic Latin are not merely preserved in dry, dusty books, but are quietly and beautifully woven into the very fabric of daily, slowly breathing life. Even the most mundane, practical moments of the day, like withdrawing simple paper currency from a solitary, perfectly quiet machine safely embedded in a cool stone wall, are warmly greeted by a soft, glowing screen displaying instructions in the precise, deeply resonant language of ancient emperors and Stoic philosophers. This quiet, profoundly stubborn dedication to a fading, highly rhythmic tongue serves as a grounding, incredibly heavy anchor, slowly pulling down the frantic pace of thought itself, requiring a deliberate, entirely unhurried mindset that wraps perfectly and smoothly around your own slowly fading, deeply resting consciousness. Tucked safely away in a quiet, heavily shadowed, and beautifully perfumed corner of an internal courtyard, there exists a place of deep, restorative healing that predates the very loud concept of modern medicine. The ancient, deeply respected apothecary, where countless generations of careful, meticulous monks once slowly ground fragrant herbs and dried precious roots with heavy, perfectly smooth marble mortars. Even now, as the thick, heavy blanket of the night completely embraces the sleeping enclave, you can almost clearly smell the faint, lingering, and profoundly soothing aroma of dried chamomile, sweet eucalyptus, and wild mountain lavender pressed firmly and eternally into the ancient, perfectly worn wooden floorboards. It is a secluded, beautiful place completely dedicated to the slow, extremely careful soothing of physical ailments, a quiet, eternal testament to the unwavering belief that true healing requires absolute patience, a gentle touch, and a deep, unshakable quiet. Just as your own resting mind and heavy body now require this beautifully slow, completely silent journey to gently unravel the tightly wound threads of the waking day, softly preparing you for a deep, uninterrupted, and profoundly healing sleep. As we slowly, softly leave the quiet, heavily shadowed pathways of the hidden gardens far behind us, let us begin a gentle, entirely unhurried ascent toward the very highest, most breathtaking point of this ancient, sleeping enclave. Imagine finding a perfectly concealed, beautifully worn stone staircase, spiraling gently and endlessly upward through the impossibly thick, heavy, ancient walls of the great basilica. The air here is remarkably cool and still, carrying the faint, dry scent of cold, carved masonry and centuries of completely undisturbed, settling dust, wrapping around your shoulders like a heavy, deeply comforting blanket. With every incredibly slow, deliberate step upon the smooth, deeply grooved travertine stairs, you can physically feel the immense, grounding weight of the solid earth falling slowly, inevitably away beneath your tired feet, leaving completely behind all the heavy burdens, the chaotic noise, and the frantic demands of the waking world. The only sound remaining is the rhythmic, echoing whisper of your own gentle, steady breathing, harmonizing perfectly with the profound, absolute silence of the long, ascending stone tunnel. It is a deeply meditative, deeply physical journey, a slow, continuous elevation that beautifully mirrors the gentle, upward drift of your own resting consciousness, rising slowly away from grounded reality and moving softly toward a place of vast, expansive, and deeply untouched peace. Emerging softly from the enclosed, spiraling darkness into the cool, open, and incredibly refreshing embrace of the crisp night air, you find yourself standing quietly upon the high, beautifully carved stone balcony that perfectly surrounds the base of a massive, softly glowing dome. Look out over the sleeping, sprawling, and seemingly endless expanse of the eternal city resting peacefully in the dark valley below you. From this high, solitary, and entirely silent vantage point, the incredibly small, fragile, and almost miraculous scale of this independent nation becomes deeply, beautifully apparent. It appears as a tiny, highly concentrated, and glowing jewel of immense spiritual gravity, completely surrounded by the vast, endless, undulating ocean of ancient Roman rooftops, dark, winding, labyrinthine alleys, and softly illuminated, distant, rolling hills. The heavy, invisible boundary that formally separates this quiet, sovereign sanctuary from the loud, demanding, and constantly moving world of Italy is nothing more than a simple, gracefully curving line drawn gently upon the ancient earth. Yet it holds a profound, unshakable, an entirely invisible power. It fiercely preserves an entire, self-contained universe of slow, deliberate contemplation, a quiet fortress of the mind entirely isolated and protected from the frantic, crushing rush of modern time. Directly below our quiet, elevated perch, resting exactly in the center of the vast, entirely empty embrace of the sweeping, circular colonnade, stands the magnificent, towering Egyptian obelisk, casting a single, long, sharp, and incredibly dark shadow across the perfectly smooth, moonlit cobblestones. Consider, for a long, quiet, and deeply uninterrupted moment, the unimaginable, epic, and entirely silent journey of that single, massive block of heavily carved, deeply red ancient granite, heaved from the deep, scorching sands of a forgotten Egypt long before the very idea of Rome was ever conceived, carefully and painstakingly carried across the vast, rolling, unpredictable expanse of the dark Mediterranean Sea on a massive, groaning wooden ship, and finally erected safely here by the sweating, straining, exhausted hands of a fallen empire. It has stood completely still, an unwavering, completely silent witness to the incredibly slow, dramatic, and entirely inevitable turning of long millennia, watching massive human empires rise with loud, deafening thunder, and eventually, inevitably, crumble softly and quietly back into the patient, waiting dust. Its silent, immensely heavy, and enduring presence is a deeply comforting, profoundly grounding reminder that all urgent human struggles, all frantic worries, and all loud, chaotic anxieties are incredibly fleeting, mere temporary ripples fading quickly on the vast, deep surface of a timeless, unmoving ocean. If you trace your tired, heavy eyes further outward, stretching your gaze gently beyond the immediate, protective walls of the sanctuary, you can gently follow the slow, dark, and winding ribbon of the ancient river Tiber, slicing quietly and smoothly through the deeply sleeping heart of the old city. For countless, entirely uninterrupted centuries, those slow, incredibly heavy waters have faithfully carried the deep, rich, fertile silt of the high Italian mountains down to the waiting, salt-scented sea, moving with a profound, unhurried, and entirely unstoppable certainty that beautifully mimics the slow, rhythmic, and incredibly deep flow of a restorative, heavy sleep. The gentle, deeply rolling, and softly shadowed silhouettes of the famous Seven Hills form a dark, protective, and entirely natural cradle around the entire geographic basin, holding the deep, incredibly heavy history of the ancient world in a beautifully soft, comforting, and deeply maternal embrace. The sheer geographic permanence of this magnificent, incredibly ancient landscape provides a profound, deeply reassuring sense of absolute stability, a firm, unshakable, and incredibly solid foundation upon which your own resting mind can finally, completely, and safely let go, knowing with absolute certainty that the ancient, heavy earth will hold you safely and securely through the long, quiet, and entirely peaceful hours of the deep night. Here, floating quietly above the sleeping, silent world, suspended beautifully and precariously between the heavy, ancient, grounding stones of the earth and the vast, glittering, cold expanse of the turning starry cosmos, the immense, overwhelming, and deeply complicated scale of human history gently dissolves. It fades softly into a profound feeling of pure, incredibly simple, and beautifully uncomplicated existence. You are merely a tiny, quiet, and deeply peaceful spark resting peacefully within a magnificent, deeply unfolding, and completely unhurried story that softly spans countless, silent generations. There is absolutely no need to rush, no urgent need to solve the heavy, complicated problems of the day, no loud demand to carry the heavy, crushing weight of tomorrow upon your tired, resting shoulders. The ancient, incredibly thick towering walls have stood perfectly still for hundreds of years. The deep, dark, and heavy river will quietly continue its slow, rhythmic journey to the waiting sea. And the ancient stars will endlessly trace their perfectly predictable, perfectly silent arcs across the vast, velvet sky, entirely without your exhausting effort, your frantic worry, or your waking attention. Allow this immense, deeply comforting, and beautifully profound realization to gently wash over your tired mind, untying the last, stubborn, and deeply hidden knots of physical tension in your heavy muscles, as you prepare your quiet mind to descend slowly, softly, and entirely peacefully back down into the final, deep, and deeply restorative embrace of a beautiful, uninterrupted sleep. And so, with a final, lingering look at the vast, sprawling sea of ancient Roman rooftops resting in the deep shadow below, we begin our slow, gentle, and entirely unhurried descent back down toward the warm, comforting earth. Let us retrace our steps, moving softly away from the high, open air of the balcony, slipping back into the enclosed, spiraling darkness of the narrow stone staircase. Notice how the air immediately grows still again, warming slightly as we move deeper into the massive, protective, and deeply insulative structure of the dome. The incredibly smooth, centuries-old travertine steps feel wonderfully grounding beneath our feet, guiding us safely and predictable downward in a gentle, hypnotic spiral. As we descend, the sheer weight of the towering dome seems to wrap around us once more, providing a profound, tangible sense of absolute safety and unbreakable security. There is nothing here that can rush us, nothing that can disturb us. The slow, rhythmic echo of our own quiet footfalls against the smooth stone is the only sound in the world, a steady, pulsing cadence that perfectly mirrors the slow, deeply calming rhythm of a heart that is ready to rest. And so, we slowly descend, moving closer and closer to the soft, waiting embrace of the deep, velvety night. Leaving the base of the great basilica behind, we drift like a soft, silent mist through the long, echoing corridors of the apostolic palace, empty now, and bathed in the deep, soft, and comforting blue of the moonlight filtering through the tall, shadowed windows. We arrive finally at a quiet, secluded, and deeply simple room, secluded in a sanctuary tucked safely away from the grand, demanding halls of state. Step inside, and feel the immediate, profound quiet settle softly over you. The room is beautifully spare, with thick, cool, rough-hewn stone walls painted a calming, soft cream. In the center, a simple, low bed is neatly covered in heavy, smooth, and entirely comforting linen sheets and thick, woolen blankets, bathed in the gentle, warm, and comforting golden glow of a single, flickering candlelight sitting on a dark wooden bedside table. Breathe in the delicate, deeply relaxing fragrance of the aged stone, the clean, crisp linens, and the incredibly faint, comforting sweetness of the lavender candle. Pull the heavy, comforting blanket all the way up to your chin, feeling its protective, soothing weight wrap securely around your tired body, a perfect shield against the troubles of the world. This is your place of absolute rest, your sanctuary within the sanctuary, where the complex and heavy history of the outside world is firmly and permanently locked outside the heavy, dark oak door. Lay your tired head down on the soft, welcoming pillow, and close your heavy, heavy eyes, and simply listen. Listen to the profound, deep, and enveloping silence of this ancient city resting peacefully at the heart of the night. It is not an empty, hollow silence, but an incredibly rich, heavy, and deeply comforting stillness, a tangible presence formed by centuries upon centuries of quiet reflection, soft prayers, and incredibly deep sleep. Perhaps, In the incredibly vast, unknowable distance, you might barely catch the extremely faint, entirely muffled, and deeply resonant chime of a solitary bronze bell, its soft, rolling sound quickly dissolving into the thick, protective, and velvety night air. Or maybe you can feel the microscopic, rhythmic vibration of the immense stone walls all around you, breathing in a slow, impossibly deep cadence that beautifully syncs with the slowing, calming rhythm of your own restful, steady breath. The great city outside, the empires that rose and fell, the noisy demands of the day, they are all merely distant, harmless shadows now, completely unable to touch the perfect, profound, and deeply restful quiet that holds you securely in its soft, unwavering embrace. Surrender completely to the powerful, gentle gravity pulling you down, deep down. Allow your heavy limbs to relax, unclenching every hidden muscle, from the tips of your resting toes to the gentle tension in your relaxed brow. Consider the profound, comforting realization that you are resting safely and soundly within the single most heavily guarded, historically stable, and deeply enduring sovereign enclave in the entire world. These ancient, towering stone walls have stood perfectly still for nearly 5 centuries, fiercely and unyieldingly protecting all those who reside within their massive, enduring shadow. They have watched over centuries of deep, restorative, and entirely uninterrupted sleep, and they will guard you tonight with that same, unwavering, completely steadfast care. You do not need to keep watch. You do not need to carry the burden of the day any longer. Trust completely in the timeless, grounding stability of this incredible place. Let go. Let the timeless, protective spirit of the sleeping city wrap warmly around you, slowly pulling you further down into the deep, dark, and wonderfully restorative ocean of a beautiful, heavy slumber. Breathe in very slowly now, pulling the deep, comforting stillness of the Vatican night deep into your tired lungs, and breathe out even more slowly, releasing the final, lingering wisps of tension, worry, and the frantic noise of the day. Let your resting mind drift softly and aimlessly, like a single white cloud floating lazily across a vast, dark, and perfectly silent sky, moving quietly over the ancient, sleeping domes, the rustling pine trees of the secret gardens, and the perfectly still, silver waters of the River Tiber. The journey is complete, the great bells are silent, and the heavy world is perfectly, completely at rest. There is nothing left for you to do, nothing left for you to solve. The walls are strong, the night is quiet, and the deep, rich comfort of an endless, beautiful sleep is waiting for you now, just on the warm, soft horizon of your consciousness, drifting smoothly away now, descending deeper and deeper into the dark, velvety, and entirely peaceful embrace, sinking down into the deep, profound, and wonderfully heavy quiet. Good night, gentle traveler, and rest deep, sleep.